I design quilt patterns, I design fabric, and today I'm going to show you how I pick the backgrounds for my quilts. Let's get into it. So I'm Anneliese from Eye Candy Quilts, and like I said, we design quilt patterns, we do lots of different things, and we have a project that we are doing, and the quilt's already, you know, worked out, and it's called Persnickety. It looks like this, and Persnickety is really pretty. It's an applique quilt. It's modern applique, and it's what we call modular applique, meaning that the applique pattern goes across the quilt. The blocks form together and create the pattern. It is not stuck within the land of a block. Kind of like how when you put piece blocks together and they can create secondary patterns, like that, but for applique. So anytime we're putting a quilt together, there are things that I look at both on the color side and on the pattern side for making it a background, because we talk about this when we do trunk shows. By the way, we have a couple of those coming up. When we go, we're scrappy quilters. We love using all the fabric all the time. But one of the things that we can do to sort of make everything look cohesive is have one element across all of the blocks. When it's super scrappy and pulling things from everywhere, have one element, one fabric across the blocks that's the same. And for a quilt, one of those things that's an easy pick is a background. So when I am looking at a background, a lot of times, so this is just solid white, okay? We very, very rarely use solids. It's just not our wheelhouse. It's like we have always, we'll leave that to people who love working with solids. I don't. And it has nothing to do with fabric quality or brand over that brand. I like print and I like pattern. I like color. I like interest. We call ourselves maximalist quilters, and this is not maximalist for me. If I need to use it, like I have a bolt here because there are some times where this is just what's going to make the quilt pop. But those times for us, for Eye Candy Quilts, few and far between. So I don't use solid white, but I have it because sometimes you do. Same way that, you know what I mean. Okay. So first thing I want to talk about with picking out a fabric background is that even if, and this is, I'm talking about light neutrals to begin with. It was like, because there's other things to think about for, you know, picking a colorful background, which is a really fun thing to do, and I encourage you to do it. So picking a light neutral background, these things can also apply for a dark neutral background. So we're picking a neutral. So a neutral is anything that's, you know, white, cream, brown, black, those sorts of things. Something that is not going to be the focus of the colors. I love that I have these bolts. So these fabrics are from our Gemma line. And what's fun about this, so this line was designed so that it looks like mosaics. And it can go modern, it can go traditional. But it was a blender line that was all colors, and then there were 5 neutrals. And there are 2 lights, so these are the 2 lights from the line, because there's different places where I would personally use this. So there is a cool neutral that goes gray, and then there is a warm neutral that goes cream. So these, here you go. Let's get some light on them. They both work. So that's the first thing that you think of. Kind of like when you're, you know, playing with all of those filters and am I a gold girly or a silver girly? It's like, this is the first step. Warm versus cool. So I tend to go for warm rather than cool, just because I like it. I think it's warm and pretty. It warms up a quilt. Cool makes it, again, can lean towards that little bit more modern, little bit more crisp, and I like warm, fuzzy sort of thing. So that's my preference. This, I have times where I use this and it looks great, and I have times where I use this and it looks great. For Persnickety, I'm picking something warm. Now, that leads me to The next thing, just like picking out foundation, you have warm, cool, and neutral, and olive. So this is not the be all end all. Like, there's many things in between this. When we were doing Daughter, we made 2 lights with Daughter, DOTTIR. It was another one of our fabric lines. And when we were putting the lines together for that, we did 2 lights, but one was, this is the parchment color, which is like a really pale, soft, creamy yellow, like parchment. And then this is the salt, like a Himalayan pink sea salt. So both of these work. And then this is a pink cool light, and this is a warm cool light. So, you know, saying something is warm or cool, there's lots of stuff within that. The other thing to think about for when you're picking a background, and this is up to you whether or not it's going to bug you or not. It never bothers me, but other people, it doesn't scratch that itch in their brain. Directional. So there are like clear directional fabrics and there are less clear directional fabrics. If you have something that is block based, where it's a square or a rectangle, and you're gonna notice if the pattern goes up and down one way and side to side another way, just be mindful of that if this is something that's going to bother you. I personally like using directional fabrics and having them go every which way in the quilt because it provides more movement. So there's another way to look at it, is like having it not be all the same can actually provide more interest or something different for your quilt. If you have something, for example, the color gradation on Gemma sort of runs in these bands across the fabric. So depending on how you cut things and how you use your blocks, is like they could go up and down one way, they can go side to side. You can be mindful and have things cut so that it works that way. Or you can just have it go every which way. Then there are things that are directional, but I think will work in other directions. Like this is from Astrologica. And so this is a text print, but the text to begin with goes in all different directions. So this one, even though it may look directional at first glance, goes all different ways. So then the third option, something like this. So this is the Nebula, the background for Nebula. This has no direction whatsoever. So if you're looking at something and you're like, okay, do I like this bolt? Or if I'm starting out, I don't want to think about which direction it's going. I want to have something that completely is non-directional. It's going to look the same no matter how you cut it. It's completely organic. The motif flows throughout the fabric. Then look for something like this. If you're looking for something and you don't want to go that random, or if you see something else, this is another type of fabric that would work for a background and work well. So this is called a tossed pattern, or a tossed repeat. And so it's got different motifs, but they're all sort of sprinkled over it, right? So this has no directional thing to it. It's going to blend together. So if you cut blocks out of this and you have this block going this way, and then you accidentally turn this block this way, like as far as background goes, you are never going to notice it. Your eye is not going to pick that up. So those are the brief overview of things to think about when picking your background. What am I going to pick for Persnickety? This is a little bit personal preference, and also just knowing what other quilts I have. So I already have an applique quilt with this as a background. So I'm going to switch it to a different one. Same thing with, I have something else in progress with this. And to me, the other thing about Persnickety is that the quilt is designed, and the Laser Cut Quilt pattern, Laser Cut Kit, is designed so that it uses fabrics from light to dark, top to bottom, and then cool to warm, left to right. So something that is neutral across all of that, it doesn't have to be neutral overall, but like doesn't interfere with that, is important. This fabric I love, but for as many patterns and as delicate sort of looking as the applique is, I think this is too busy. This is too much. I love this, but not for this project. Now we're on to Nebula, which is our latest line. And this background sold out quickly, so so this is called Cosmic or Latte, and I love this, but this is too warm for me. This has got too much warmth. This is the fabric that I'm going to be using for my background. It's from Astrologica. It is not a metallic, it's just a gold color, not a metallic gold print or pigment. It is a warm color. It's got a little bit of interest, and yeah. I'm also really scared to use this because it also doesn't exist in the world anymore, and I need to get over that, but because I think this is going to be really pretty. So anyway, let's get started making persnickety. Thanks for stopping by Eye Candy Quilts. We have lots of patterns, whimsical fabric, and shenanigans going on. So make sure you follow